Hey, welcome to Training with Kayce. And of course, I'm Kayce. And I'm going to put a link in the notes today because Sylvia posted a piece of video and it's hitting all of us on a really deep level. It is the simplest thing. It's Sylvia walking down the path with her dog, and there's a lot of ice. And she's just talking to her dog, and she asks her to walk in a certain place, like in the middle of the path where it's not wet and muddy and icy. And Rasha looks at her and she comes straight over. I mean, it's just like if you and I were out walking and I knew that there were problems and I just told you about them so that you could avoid them. And we just did that because that's what we do with each other. We try to make our lives together as good as possible. And it's a way of working with animals that I'm now used to, but I never take it for granted, or at least I try not to. It's such a privilege to work with animals and with people. And there were some things that I wanted to bring up because there were some lighthearted comments that were made. And one was something to the effect that this dog got all the intelligence in the dog litter. But that shines a light on an important fact. That's our fault. Okay. This dog doesn't have all of the intelligence in her dog litter. But if it looks like it does, what it really says is this dog's owner knows how to and is committed to co-creating a wonderful dog. So I'm going to talk to you about some things that I don't normally get, maybe on the woo-woo side. So how you see the animal is so important. You are going to get the animal you co-create. Now, I guess I should back up a little bit because sometimes we get an animal with a medical problem, a mental problem, a biological problem, and we don't have anything to do with that. I want to acknowledge that right now. But a lot of times we get the animal that's a perfectly fine animal, but we may have to hold sacred space for that animal to develop into the perfectly fine animal that it is. So we have to see the animal, we have to see their intelligence, the contribution they make or they will make. We have to have gratitude to not only have them in our lives, but to have the privilege of being able to influence them and help them develop. We have to respect their sovereignty just as much as we are. They are their own beings. They're not here to be our little perpetual toddlers, right? You guys know I have an issue with that. I think it's good, nice that people like to think of themselves as pet parents, but I bristle at it because it's like, you're not their parent. They're not your children. They're not there to stay children for you. Okay. So if we can just agree that the animals get to grow up and be adults and you will treat them like adults, it's okay if you say you're their parents. I know it's okay if you do it anyway, but I'm just saying. Okay. So you hold the space and you see that animal coming into being, the responsible, intelligent, capable, talented animal that you're going to help create with that animal. So, what are some simple things you can do? Because as you know, I'd be only too happy to teach you Bridge and Target. I know we don't have that class yet, but we are hot on the heels of it. So it will be soon. But every animal should start out with perception modification, which is a skill set that teaches them to cope with stress and manage their emotions, which is absolutely critical for their ability to manage their behavior and also to navigate stress and everything so they don't get sick. All right, so those learning the actual methodology of training, perception modification, and bridge and target, two-way communication. You can get all of that here, but it takes time and expertise and application. It's not an easy thing. It's not a simple subject. SATS is a very simple subject, but it's not easy. I guess that's what I want to say. Okay, so here are 5 things you can do. 5 things. 1, share information. Okay, so you know us and name and explain. Explain to your animal what you want, what's going to happen, who's there, what you're doing, how you're doing it, where you're going, how you're traveling, items, individuals that are in the environment, body parts, distance, direction, duration. You get the drift. Share information. Give notice. Now, test this out. Take this to the bank. You're going to share information. This is another step. Give the animal the information before they need it. Before you take your puppy out of the crate, tell your puppy what it needs to do, where you're going, how they need to be, who are you likely to encounter. Have they done this before? These are things that you can share with your animal that are going to make your experience together so much smoother and richer. So you're going to share information, but you're going to give notice ahead of time. Those are the first 2. The next thing is you're going to ask permission. Don't just pick your animal up off the floor like they have no opinion. Don't just put your hand on them. Don't just assume you can pet somebody else's dog. I mean, how would that make you feel if you go out in public with your husband, you're holding your husband's hand, and everybody else think they can come up and hold your hand? Yeah, yeah. Or here's one of my pet ones, not with dogs, but horses. People come up and slap horses on the face. I know my horse doesn't like that. I remember trying to stop somebody from doing that, saying, hey, she doesn't like that. And he says, oh, it's okay. I know all about horses. Well, apparently you don't. And you're too full of yourself to even consider the perspective of the horse, who doesn't even know you and doesn't want your hands on them. So ask permission. Another thing is recognize success. One of the hardest things to help new trainers accomplish is to, instead of sitting there watching the animal do something, to actually respond in time. So if you say to the animal, let's go left, and the animal starts to go left, you should be good. Good, 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 good. All right. You don't just go, let's go left, and the animal goes left, and I guess that's okay. No, get in there, give the feedback, encourage that animal. Especially in the beginning, there's uncertainty. They're not absolutely confident that they understand what you want. So get in there and encourage them, help them. So recognize success. And then gratitude. So another thing you may not know about me, so I'll remind you it, or if you haven't heard it, my dad was a nuclear physicist. We had a lot of great conversations about behavior of molecules. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, As far as I can see, we live in a conscious universe. It's not just that living things are conscious or things that we recognize as living are conscious. I think everything is conscious. So if I'm wrong, whatever. But if I'm right, I'm making my life easier because I thank everything for their service. I thank my animals for choosing to come live with me, for choosing to partner with me, for putting up with me. Ask Sarah. Sarah always looks at the camera like, can you see what I have to work with here? Anybody that's worked with me will see her point. Anyway, share information, give notice, ask permission, recognize success and effort, right? The animal's trying and they don't get it right, they still deserve to be recognized and encouraged. And then gratitude. It is a privilege to be in the lives of these animals, of the children we get to know and influence, our partners, our family, our neighbors, and our community and our colleagues. So, if we make a practice of feeling and expressing appreciation for all of these beings that make our life rich and wonderful, it has all kinds of benefits. Okay, so how you see your animal has a lot to do with how your animal develops. It's your job. And you need to recognize the intelligence, the contribution, um, the sovereignty of the animal. You have to hold space for them. And you can do that by doing the following 5 things: sharing information, giving notice, asking permission, recognizing success and effort, and showing gratitude. And in doing that, we are showing gratitude for the privilege of having influence in the lives of the others we touch. Okay, thank you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.